Alright, I think these might just be the best I've heard in this segment. Hey everyone, this is Ian here from Headphone Zone. Now, I've been asked a lot to recommend good sounding headphones but on a tight budget. For the longest part, I would just forego headphones and ask you to pick an IEM because at that price point you'll find you have a lot more options when it comes to better performing IEMs as well as good value for money. With headphones, it's not so simple, you see, because most of them sound like crap, and also headphone manufacturers, to keep cost on the lower end, opt for cheaper and not so durable materials. Well, that's until this arrived here. This is the FiiO JT1. So let's get into it. So cracking into the FiiO JT1 is pretty bare bones, and that's to be expected from a budget headphone like this. After you're done with all the boring stuff like the manual, the warranty card, the 6.3 adapter, and this cloth bag, which I don't think so I'll be using, you'll come to the all-important part, which is of course the FiiO JT1 and these cables also, which look quite nice. Now, the first thing you're going to notice as soon as you pick the JT1 is just how light they are. And that's thanks to the hard but durable plastics used on them. Now, I also quite appreciated the headband design on this. It's using a suspension style one. Now, not only is this comfortable to wear, but you'll also find this on more higher end headphones like the Meze 99 Classics and the Hi-Fi-Man Sundara. I could easily wear this for around 3 or 4 hours before I felt I needed to take my first break, and people with spectacles will also appreciate the comfort on them. So looking at the ear cups of the FiiO JT1, it might look like it's an open back or even a semi-open back headphone. Well, that's not the case. The FiiO JT1 is a complete closed back pair of headphones. Now on the other side, that's the ear pads, you'll find that there's quite a lot of padding on this. There's a generous amount, so it's quite soft when you have them on your head, and the clamp force is almost zero, nor is there any locking of the jaw, which is quite common to have in headphones when you use them for the first time. So that's quite nice to find on the FiiO JT1. Now, I was pleasantly surprised to find how good the cable quality actually is. It's about a 1.5 meter cable and features an inline mic with a single button to drop and receive calls. In addition to that, it terminates in a 3.5 termination, and you can also add a 6.3 mm adapter if needed. The ends that connect to the headphones are again 3.5 mm TRS and detachable, so that means you can swap these out for cables on the Meze 99 series or even something like the Sivga. If you want to use balanced cables, that's also possible with the FiiO JT1. The JT1 packs a 50 mm aluminum polymer dynamic driver, but don't let that scare you. These are still quite easy to drive, rated at just 32 ohms and a sensitivity of around 103 dB. That makes it very easy to drive with any source you have, be it a laptop, tablet, or even a smartphone. Now, the sound signature on these are relatively well balanced. However, just like the Truth Zero Blue, this has a bit of a bump in the bass and the treble. Now, what this leads to is a sound quality that's a bit more engaging to listen to, but it doesn't overpower the vocals and other instruments. The track One of These Nights by the Eagles was a great example. Soon as you click play, you have the bass line which just goes from left to right and pans very well on these headphones. Soon after that, you have guitars that come in with this fast attack, and of course Don Henley's majestic vocals. It all just sounds very nicely spaced out and quite enjoyable on the headphones. Now, when the solo kicks in, everything has this nice snappiness to it, and you can literally hear each and every note being plucked. Do keep in mind that if you are listening to songs or tracks which have a little bit more bass intensive feel to them, the headphones can overpronounce them a bit. Case in point was Movie by Tom Misch. There were certain sections in this song which I found was a bit overpowered, where the vocals and instruments felt a little bit dull. However, the bass still sounded a lot better compared to the One Audio Pro and the AKG K92, which I've been testing side by side to just see how these budget headphones actually perform, and in every single track the JT1 did much better than the other two. When it comes to the soundstage on the FiiO JT1, this is also again quite respectable. In fact, I thought it was on par with the Philips SHP 9500. Now keep in mind, this is an open back headphone and also much more expensive. Everything sounded quite nice and spaced out and never felt too narrowed in, so you can actually listen to this without being too fatiguing. Now, you also have to keep in mind that the FiiO JT1 being a budget headphone is not all perfect. The minor nitpicks I had were with the ear pads. Sometimes I found they would rotate out of place while using the headphones, but that's easily fixable. Sometimes while touching the headphone at the side, especially on the ear cup, you'll find that the hard plastics are a little bit cheap to touch, but never hinder in terms of sound. While the JT1 is easy to drive, you might want to consider using a portable DAC if you're using an older source device which doesn't have a high power output. You may also want to use the DAC if you just simply want to listen to high-res music. In all, the JT1 is a breath of fresh air in this segment. For just under Rs 6,000, you find that the build quality and comfort are done just right, but more importantly, these sound better than anything that I've tested so far. I'm glad I finally have a headphone that I can recommend under a tight budget. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Do let me know your thoughts about the FiiO JT1 in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to try out the JT1, you're most welcome to come down here in our experience studio in Mumbai or catch us at one of our Club Audiophile meetups or Headphone Connect events happening in a city near you. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.